Good morning, everyone. Welcome to MBA Karo. Today we are going to have a marathon on XAT DI. Okay, so if you talk about the data interpretation part, it consists of like around 8, 10, 12 questions. That varies, like out of 28 questions of QADI. You have questions like generally in XAT, you get a question set of 2 to 3 questions, okay, which generally include questions on like some data tables, some kind of graphs also, right? And even at times some sort of logic based DI also. Okay, so in today's session we will cover different types, basically mostly calculation based, and like a set on Venn diagram as well. So we'll cover a mixed bag of questions for that DI. So in the upcoming days we will be having like more sessions on this. So if you wish to enroll in our GDPI program, you can do so. The link is given in the description of this video. Okay, so you can check that out. If you are new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and follow us on social media platform. This is the best channel for all MBA entrance examinations. So, in case you are preparing for that and are looking for mock tests, okay, and today is on the occasion of Christmas, we are offering 25% discount on our ZAT mocks. Okay, so we have this pack which includes 5 full-length mocks and 20 decision-making tests, and like there are video solutions for the QADI section. Okay, and created by me, the solutions created by me. Okay, and so today we have 25% discount, so you can get this for 750 just for today. Okay, you can use the code Xmas. The link is given in the chat also, I think in the description of this video as well. All right, so let's begin with the first set. So it says that there are two people who are preparing for XAT, and using their tutor gave them an assignment to solve 600 questions over a period of 6 days from Monday to Saturday. Okay, the table gives the number of questions solved correctly by both of them on each of the days and their accuracy on respective days. So we are given the number of questions correctly solved and accuracy. Okay, and it is given that on Saturday the accuracies of these two people were 90% and 100% respectively. Okay, so first question is we need to find the total number of questions solved by them on Saturday. So at a times you would be given certain the calculation, but maybe you may not be given. So basically what you need to do is accuracy is question solved correct upon total questions into 100. Okay, so usually they give in data interpretation that how do you need to calculate. Okay, but sometimes they might assume that people might be knowing what accuracy means. Okay, so I have given that accuracy means the number of correct attempts upon total questions into 100. Okay, so we are given the number of questions solved correctly and accuracy in percentage terms. So correct is given, accuracy is given. We need to find the total questions on each of the days. So calculated, preferably consider make the complete table so that we can answer subsequent questions also. Okay, so how do you calculate it? So I'll tell you, like, in case you are struggling to calculate. So in this, question solved correctly is 72, accuracy is 60%, right? So the number of questions will be 120, because 120 ka 60% is, so total questions will be equal to correct upon accuracy into 100. Okay, so we have 72 correct, accuracy is 60 into 100. Okay, so 5 by 3. And like, in order to have fast things, basically you need not be calculating like manually, right? This level of calculation is expected. I mean, this is not very hard calculation. So 50% accuracy means 128 questions, 75% accuracy. So 3/4 is 84. So this will be 112. Okay, 80% accuracy, so 100 questions, and 90% accuracy is 72. So total 80 questions. We are given that they have to solve 600 questions. So these are the number of questions solved on 5 days, Monday to Friday. We will get the number of questions solved on Saturday. So we have 180, 300, 300 plus 240, 540. So on Saturday, this person will solve 60 questions. Okay, and the second person we need to calculate similarly. Okay, so 80% accuracy means 90 questions, 90% accuracy 80 questions, 60% accuracy means 140, 75, right? 3/4, so 3/4 is 66, hence 88 questions, and 50% is 68, so 136 questions by this person. Okay, so we will just calculate his total as well. 170, 310, 398, and that is 534. So this person has solved 534. So we'll solve 66 questions on Saturday. So the total number of questions solved by them on Saturday is 126. Okay, so now you have calculated these numbers also. It will help you in answering the subsequent questions also. Okay, so 126 is the right answer. On Saturday, the accuracies of, okay, so sorry, this is the part of the question. On which day was the difference between the number of questions attempted by them the maximum? Okay, difference between questions attempted maximum. Okay, so first of all, we are given four options: Tuesday, Monday, Friday, Wednesday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. So we'll calculate on these. Now, if you have calculated the values, so you can directly answer. I'll recalculate them. 120, 128. Okay, and this is 60. Can we use the accuracy thing also? Probably accuracy is 80. So observation wise, it is difficult to guess. Okay, so 75 is, this is 112. 60%, 84, so 140. And on this day, 80 questions and 136 questions. Okay, so the difference is 30. This is 48, this is 28, and this clearly stands out to be a difference of 56. Okay, so the answer would be Friday. 56 question difference, like 80 questions here and 136 questions here. Isn't that the answer? Friday. Number of attempts. Well, let's see the next one. Raunak has a friend Prakhar who sat along with him and attempted the same number of questions every day as Raunak. Okay, so this person also attempts same number of questions. His accuracy for the first 3 days was 70%, whereas for the remaining days it was the same as that of Raunak. How many questions did Prakhar solve correctly in total? Okay, so we need to find his number of attempts, number of questions that he solved correctly. So find his total correct attempts. So Tarak is having the number of questions attempt is same. and he has 70% accuracy on the first 3 days, and these 3 days he attempted the same number of questions. So it is given that it was same remaining days, that means same. So we know that last day he had 66 correct, so here we did not need to calculate the accuracy. So we already know this number of correct attempts. So for the first 3 days calculate the correct attempts and find out that how many total attempt correct questions did he attempt over the 6 day period. So let's see this question that how to attempt it, and definitely in a smarter way. Okay, instead of finding like if even if you did not know the total number of questions, we could have done using proportionate thing. So 80% is 72, right? What will be 70% accuracy? 72 into 7 by 8, or rather 70 by 80, right? So that will give us 9 into 7, 63 questions. Okay, 63 questions, 90% is 72. So this will be 56. 60% is 84. 70% will be 98. Okay. Now, if you see this question, right, this can be answered quite easily because all have last digit different. So this thing is a trivial thing, but one should like acknowledge this fact that in certain questions, right? Like it may be in just one or two questions, or maybe three questions, four questions out of the total 28 questions. This factor could play a role, and that will save your time. So even if you save 20 seconds in one calculation, just telling you. So there are certain minor things, like if you take care of those things, that cumulatively adds to the time taken to solve questions, right? So sometimes you might be wondering that how are some people able to solve so many questions in that same duration. Okay, it's not that like others do not know the concept. It is that those people know these smart techniques. So instead of adding all these, we will just look at the last digit. So 6, 8, 14, 14, 6, 20, 0, 8, 8 and 9, that is 7. So something ending in 7. So that becomes our answer. So if you add, you will take time to do, but if you use the last digit, you will be able to do it faster. So that speeds up your question solution time. Well, let's move to the next one. And in this set, we will learn some amazing techniques regarding pie charts. Okay. So it says the distribution of students and girls in a college studying different subjects. So there are 7,000 students, and 45% of them are girls. And we need to find, like, we are given like section subject wise distribution out of 7,000 students and of girls as well. Okay, and the first question is finding the ratio of male and female students studying physics. So have you calculated it? See, let's see the conventional way of doing. So conventional is you might be calculating the number of students. I mean that everybody knows, right? So not to explain, that conventional method that you would be applying is, since it is asking physics, so you might have calculated how many students study physics, then you calculated how many students, girls studied physics, right? Now this can be done in a very straightforward manner, okay, with respect to females, male and female, right? Can you find female ratio total studying physics straight away? Yes, we can, right? So first of all, female is 45% of total, right? Now it does not matter that what is the total number of students. 45% of total, right? Total is in this ratio. What percentage are studying physics? 9% of total and 12% of female. Okay, so this is 5 and this becomes 20, right? And this is 3 by 5, right? So female to total is 3 ratio 5, right? So female to male will be 3 ratio 2. The question is asking male and female. So male is asked first, hence the ratio becomes 2 ratio 3. So pie chart is all about simple calculations, right? It is just a ratio based thing. The total does not matter. So whether it is 7,000 students, 50,000 students, 22,000 students, if any question is asked based on ratios, can be done in this straightforward manner as possible. Okay. So I hope you got it. Like female to total, we will find the ratio, because see male, like if anything is given about ratios. So if you know female to total ratio, we can tell female to male ratio. So female to total ratio is 45 by 100, right? Among the students, and 12% of them study physics. So we calculated it separately and got the result instantly. All right. Okay. Next question. What is the number of male students studying chemistry and history? So this involves calculation. We will have to find the number. So we cannot just simply use ratios. We will have to find those numbers also. So chemistry and history. So chemistry and history total we need to find. So we will see that how to get that total easily. So I'll give you a brief thing about it. Like, see, if you have to find chemistry and history together, right? So do not find separately. Add them first, right? And then calculate the values. So find 37% of this and 45% of, 42% of this, 45%. So 45 into 7 is 280 plus 35, 3150. So 42% of 3150 and 37% of 7,000, and find the difference. Now if you calculate the values, right, 37 into 7 is 2590. Okay. And if you have to find 42% of 3150, okay, I'll tell you a hack that you would be doing is 31.5 into 42, right? So like let's say if you do not know the table of 42, right? What we can do in this case is take the double of it and half of it, right? Now again, this becomes a last digit problem. How it becomes a last digit problem? This is with respect to total. The number of females, the last digit ending is 3, right? So I'm not at all concerned. I get the answer ending in 7. So look at the options, right? If options have last digit different, so one step has already been reduced in your calculation. I need not find this total, right? So otherwise, if you want to check 21 into 3, 63, 6 carries 126, 132. So that will be 67 and 1267. So got this result, but it can be done just using the last digit. So this obviously we know that, see, as soon as you see the options, right, we know that this is going to be the last digit thing because all last digits are different. Okay, this you need to not even calculate 37% of 7,000. We know 37 into 70, something ending in 0. Okay, this thing 3150 ka 42% we know. Okay, or at this stage we figured out 63 into 21. So last digit is 3. The last digit in the answer should be 7. Okay, so using these techniques help you beat the calculation factor in several questions. Okay, the number of female students studying mathematics and geography is approximately what percentage of the number of male students studying the same subjects? So, maths and geography, female students, what percent of male students studying the same subjects? So, use the combination that we used in the first question and the previous question. First question we talked about certain thing, right? Like you can compare with respect to total. And second question also I told you that instead of finding individual, you can just add and calculate. So use those two things collectively to get this answer. So number of female students studying mathematics and geography, right? What percent of male students studying same subjects? Maths and geography, that is this and this. So maths and geography here it is 36% and it is 26%. Okay, so do the manual calculation at least to like brushing up your calculations, and I'll tell you the direct way to do it. So if chart-based data interpretation is asked, it becomes quite an easy attempt because you at least know that how to calculate things, right? It's game about calculation. For example, this year also in CAT they introduced DI. Okay, so people were able to score more, and there were simpler calculations. All right, so let's see this thing like how can it be done straight away? Like if you've calculated the values, what are the values that you're getting? What percentage? If you got the percentage, great. Like I'll introduce how to solve it in a smart manner. Okay, so female maths and geography we can find with respect to total maths plus geography, right? Because if you can find with respect to total, you can find the ratio of like what we did in the first question, right? Now if you see, female ratio total is 45 by 100. Okay, now in female, maths plus geography is 26%, right? And in total, maths plus geography is 36%. Okay, so we will reduce it to the smallest terms. So 9 by 20, and this is 4 times. So it becomes 13 by 40. Right? Now, female, male plus geography ratio total is 13 by 40. Right? So, female, male, maths plus geography ratio, male, maths plus geography will be equal to 13 by 27. 13 ratio 27. Now, 13 is how much percent of 27? 27 का 50% is 13.5. Okay, so slightly less than 50%. 50% से थोड़ा कम होगा, so we can eliminate options like this. Like if you say 0.5, right? 27 का 2% is 0.54. Like if you find 2%, so that is roughly 2% less. So approximately you will get 48%. Okay, if you calculate by division also, you will get around 48. So roughly you can say 13.5 is 50% and 2% कितना कम हो जाएगा, 0.5, close to 0.5. So the answer is 48%. So seemingly difficult calculation wherein you thought that you would calculate the number of students in these two and then the number of female students and then get the number of male students and then divide, could be done straight away with the use of ratios. Okay, so in the first question also we saw that we did it directly with using the ratios. Here also we just directly got the ratio, that is 13 ratio 40, female with respect to total. So female with respect to male is 13 ratio 27. Okay, and 13 by 27 is roughly 48%. Okay, so this is how one can expedite the process and get the answer quickly. So it is about knowing these calculation hacks that enable you to solve questions fast. Okay, so if you are enjoying this session, please don't forget to like this video. It will teach you certain techniques to beat others using smart calculations and other concepts. Okay, and in case you wish to enroll in our mock test, so today we are offering 25% discount. You can use the code XMAS to get that discount. All right, so next is something that you will learn in finance. And if you come from commerce background or like or BBA, even in BBA, I think accounting C or anything, then you will obviously be knowing it. But if you are non-finance background, let's say you are from engineering, right, or like some other sciences, so probably you might not be knowing this. So for that, you are given the entire thing. Okay, so we are given a set of statements. Read it. For those who do not know, can read and understand it. Okay, so like we are given the income statement of certain companies, right? So we have 4 companies over here, and we have the income statement, right? So it is given that. See, I'll explain the income statement here and then the subsequent side I'll show you the question also. So we have sales, right? First is sales. Now this is what you will learn in your MBA also. So in case you do not know, in first year of your MBA, you will have called financial accounting where you will be taught these things, right? So first is sales. Sales is the total revenue. If you subtract cost of goods sold, COGS it is called, it gives us gross profit. So basically first row minus second row gives the third row, gross profit. Now from gross profit, if you subtract operating expenses, that is operating profit. So minus this gives us operating profit. Then from operating profit, when you subtract interest, you will get PBT, which is called profit before tax. Okay, and after PBT, when you subtract tax, you get PAT, which is profit after tax. Okay, so these are different financial numbers which are important. Okay, so they are present in your company income statement, right? So partial data is given, some of the information is missing, some information is given in terms of text, like COGS are in the ratio 4325, gross profit of A is equal to operating profit of B. Operating profit of D is twice the operating profit of C. So that is the information which is given in terms of a passage. Okay. And one thing here, we are given percentage. Interest is percent of operating profit. So this interest, like say if you are 20%, 20% of this value. It is 10% of this value, 25% of this value. And tax is expressed in terms of percent of profit before tax. So this PBT, like 30% of this value will be the tax. Okay, so that is the information given to us, right? So we shall be solving this set. Okay, so that information, like I hope you must have noted this down, that this minus this is this, gross profit minus operating expense is this, operating profit minus interest is PBT, PBT minus tax is PAT. So try to calculate these values. Okay, try to calculate the missing values based on these conditions. So a few conditions are given. The ratio of COGS and gross profit condition is given, operating profit condition is given. Based on these conditions, try to calculate the values. Okay, and then we will see and answer these questions. So first question at least you answer, so I'll get an idea that some of you have started to calculate it. Okay, draw this table. Will take some time, but yeah, worth doing it. So COGS is in the ratio 4:3:5, one of the conditions. So if you know one of the COGS, you can calculate it. Then gross profit of A, operating profit of B. Gross profit of A is equal to operating profit of B. So this value is same. And operating profit of D, that is this, is twice the operating profit of C. So if operating profit of C is Y, this is 2Y. Okay, so do these calculations and find out what will you get as the result. So you need to find the total sales. That is the first question. So when you deal in large number of zeros, ignore the zeros. So you're done with the calculation. Do comment that what is the total sales. And if not done, I'll tell you how to think through the data. So I hope you must have drawn the table at least. Okay. And might be in the process of calculation. Okay, so formula section. So formula is basically sales minus COGS is gross profit. right? So first you subtract this, you get gross profit. Gross profit minus operating expense is operating profit. Operating profit minus interest is PBT. PBT minus tax is PAT. So basically we need to subtract these things, like COGS we need to subtract, operating expense we need to subtract, interest we need to subtract, and tax we need to subtract from the above one to get the one below. So basically alternate you have to subtract. Like first row mein jo diya, second row, the data given in second row, if you subtract it, you will get the data in the third row. Then you subtract the data in the fourth row to get the data in the fifth row, and so on. So let's focus just on the first question, right? Not to calculate everything. So we will calculate only whatever is asked. So first is question is asking the total sales of the four companies, right? So we need to find the total sales. So we need to think, like, see, whenever you are given a data, you need to understand that how can you find that missing data, right? Some missing data is there. So we need to find the sales. We need to find the sales, right? If I know the COGS, can I find the sales? Because we are given that sales minus COGS is equal to gross profit. Okay. So if I have to find sales, I need to know these two things. Now gross profit is available with us, right? If I know the COGS, then only I can find sales, right? So I need to find COGS in this case. Now how do I find COGS? I am given the ratio. So if I know any of these COGS, I can find the values, right? So we need to find these two things first. Now how to find these two? If I know any of the four values, since the ratio is given, we can find it, right? Now next thing to consider here is gross profit is obtained by subtracting it, right? And gross profit, like, we need to know these two things. Now for this person, gross profit is not known, right? For this also, gross profit is not known. Do we have gross profit for this? Yes, we have. COGS is not known, right? This thing, like, think like this, ki gross profit, how to find gross profit now? If you have to find gross profit minus operating expense is equal to operating profit, right? So if gross profit is not known, we need to think one step back. So if operating expense and operating profit are given, we can find gross profit. Now see for company A, right? Operating profit is given as 12. Now ignore the number of zeros. Okay, so just ignore the number of zeros. It is 12 because the number of zeros is same, 6 6. So it is 12. Operating expense is 7. So gross profit will be 19. Gross profit is 19. The number of zeros is same, right? So COGS will be 56. So we calculated for A, right? COGS is 56. Now 4325. So 4 parts is 56, 3 parts will be 42, 2 parts will be 28, and 5 parts will be 70, right? Okay, now just add this back, 75, 23 plus 42, 65 with 6 zeros. 20, this is already known. This is 20 plus 70 is equal to 90, right? With how many zeros? So just consider the number of zeros once here. That is like 6 zeros. So 6 zeros over here also. So we have numbers at 75, 65, 40 and 90. 75, 65, 140, 180, 270. So 270 followed by 6 zeros. That will be our answer. Okay, so we just had to see that, like in the formula, how can we figure out a missing value? Okay, so in order to find gross sales, we need to know the COGS. In order to know the COGS, like, there is a relation between these three. Sales minus COGS is gross profit. So if you have to find sales, you need to know COGS and gross profit. And then there is another thing, gross profit minus operating expense is equal to your operating profit. So if you know operating profit and operating expense, you can find gross profit. So that is what we did for A and figured out the values. Okay, so we had to go up and calculate it. Okay, next question is, what is the ratio of gross profit to operating profit of company C? Gross profit to operating profit. We just calculated in the previous question. Gross profit to operating profit. So gross profit, we calculated this as COGS was 28. So it is 12 followed by 6 zeros, and this is 9 followed by 6 zeros. Okay, so it is gross profit ratio operating profit is 4 ratio 3. And the third question is profit after tax of company D. So we need to find PAT of company D. What do we need in PAT? See, to reach out PAT, we need to fill all these values. So till here it is fine because we do not know need sales as of now. We need to go down and fill in these values. So if you know PBT, then you can find the PAT, right? ये हमको necessary चाहिए. For PBT, we should know operating profit, right? For operating profit, we should know operating expense. So these are the things that we need to calculate. And how will we calculate? We are given a condition that operating profit of D is twice the operating profit of C. So operating profit of C is, we put this as Y, this will be 2Y. Okay, so we have already calculated for C. So calculate the remaining values and tell what will be the answer. Part of company D. So we calculated this as 9 followed by 6 zeros. So this is 18, right? 18 ka 25%. See, interest we need to subtract, right? So it is basically 75%. That will be 13.5 with followed by 6 zeros. And we need to find its 70%, right? So 13.5 into 70%. So forget the decimals and zeros. Just do 135 into 7. Okay, so that is 45 and 945. So 945, that option will be our answer. So we knew this value from the previous question, right? We calculated it and hence we figured out the PAT as well. Okay, so this was one question on like heavy data calculation. I mean, although it was all round of figures, and how do we fill in the missing tables? Okay, so how to think that, how to go about filling the missing values based on the given formula. Okay, so here's the next one. This question, so we had to find the PAT of company D, right? We need to find this value PAT. Now we are given operating profit of D is twice of operating profit of C. So in the previous question we calculated the operating profit of C, which is 9 and 9 million. So we can call all these values as millions because all have 6 zeros. So this is 9 million. So operating profit of D will be 18 million. Okay, 25% we remove in interest. See, operating profit minus interest. So remaining will be 75%. 75% means 13.5 million. Okay, then from PBT we need to subtract to tax to get PAT. Now tax is 30%, so remaining will be 70% of it. So 70% of 13.5 million will be 9.45 million. Okay, so here's the next one. It is saying that like this shows the voter strength and the percentage turnout in the elections of a constituency for 6 consecutive terms. So we are given the voter strength in thousand and percentage turnout. So first question itself is average voter turnout during the 6 terms. Okay, so definitely a calculation heavy question. So at times there might be some questions which require intense calculation. So you need to take a call that whether you are going to attempt such questions or not. Okay, so there could be a possibility that let's say there's a DI with three questions. Two of the questions can be calculated in a reasonable amount of time, but a third question might take a lot much longer. Okay, so that case one needs to avoid such questions. So let's see this thing. Like we need to find the voter strength, right? Average voter turnout. So basically, we have to find the percentages and do the calculations. So some quick calculation techniques. In the meanwhile, you must have started calculating some of the values, and now I'll catch up and find it. So 62.5 is 5 by 8. So 44 into 5 by 8. 44 into 5, like 44 by 8 is 5.5. So that will be 27.5, right? 48 into 57.5. So 48 into 50 is 24. Okay, 7.5. 5% is 2.4, 3.6. So that will be 27.6. 54 into 65. 54 into 60 is 32.4. And 5% is 2.7. So 35.1. Right, 70 into 62, 620, 420 plus 14, 434. 68 into 67.5, 68 into 70% is 68 into 7 will be 476, that is 47.6, and 2.5% will be 1.7. Okay, so that will be 45.9. And lastly it will be 76 into 30, 76 into 65, that can be done as 130 into 38. 13 into 38 into 3 is 114, so 494, 49.4. Okay, so we need to find the average of these. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll use deviation to calculate the average. So we need to find the average of 275, 276, 351, 434, okay, 459, and 494. Now, if we see the average, it is around 37 to 40,000. Okay, so for simplicity, I'll assume the average to be 400. Now, these are in thousands. I have converted into, right. So, I'll assume to be 400. Yes, this time they are providing calculator. So, good for you. So, probably you might have calculation based questions also. Okay, so let's see this by deviation. How do we calculate? Okay, so you can expect calculation based DI this time. Possible if they are providing calculator, there might be some reason. Okay, so 400, I do by calculations. I never use calculators. Okay, unless it's very large calculations. 59 and 94. I do that is 128. So increase of 3. This is 62. 62 minus is minus 62 minus 111. Okay, so 400 minus 111 by 5. So 111, sorry, by 6. So 111 is 18.5. So 400 minus 18.5, which is 381.5. So 38,150. So this was a calculation heavy one. Okay, so this was a calculation heavy one, preferably avoidable question. Okay, so one must see that which questions to go at. So ratio of non-voters in 1996 to non-voters in 2011. So this is an easy one. So previous one was skippable question, right? In the examination, you should skip this question because one question itself is eating a lot of time. But this question is an easy one and is a the like low hanging fruit which must be grabbed with both hands. So tell the ratio of non-voters in 1996 to non-voters in 2011. So this can be answered without calculator. Previous one definitely required a calculator to calculate. So I expect you to answer this fast. 1996 2011. Okay, it is asking ratio of non-voters. So 1996 48, 2011 is 68. Voters are 57.5, so non-voters will be 42.5, and this year non-voters will be 32.5, right? So you can write as 425 and 325. Okay, divide by 25, that is 17 and 13. Right? So 17 is 1/4, get 12 ratio 13. Okay, that was an easy calculation. 12 ratio 13. Direct find the ratios. No need to calculate the numbers. Okay, just take the ratio. The percentage increase in the number of eligible voters was the highest during which decade? Percentage increase in the number of eligible voters. So eligible voters basically refers to the voter strength itself. So you need to tell the percentage increase was highest during which decade. Decade is a duration of 10 years. So we need to find during which decade it was the highest. So 91, like there are four decades, 91 to 2001, 96 to 2006. So all four are present in the options. So we will see 91 to 2001, the increase is 10 out of 44. 44 से 54 बन गया. Next is 48 to 62. So 96 to 2006, the increase of the 14 out of 48. Okay. Next decade, that is 2001 to 11. The increase is 14 out of 54. And 2006 to 16, the increase is 14 out of 62. Now we can easily eliminate two of these options. Okay, which two options can be eliminated? These two can easily be eliminated. Now, if you are having an increase of 14 over 48, over 54 or over 62, so obviously, अगर आपका कम base था and the increase is same, right? So definitely these two are not the highest because 14 by 48 is clearly larger than them. Okay, now 10 by 44, roughly 25% or even less than that. Okay, well, 1 by 11 by 44 is 25%. Now, is it 25%? Yes, it is greater than 25%. 25% is 12. So clearly this is the highest. So this can be answered without even calculating the values. So 96 to 2006. So could have been done, right? So two questions, one could have attempted and skipped one of the questions. So usually you get a set of three questions or two questions in XAT. Okay, so in case you are preparing for XAT and wish to have a crash course, so you can check out our course, which has covered all these things in details. So let's move to the next question. This is a caselet. Okay, interesting caselet, story based kind of question. So do solve it. So there are some members in a family, right? So Jalaj, his wife, the daughter, son, and the daughter-in-law. Okay, and then like he worked for some time and then he did something. So you need to find the age of these people. How long did these people live? Okay, so interesting story to read and solve. Acha, at times that like it is not necessary that they will just uh, like sometimes they give you individual questions also, not individual, they will give you a group of two questions. Last year they had this thing, so it may not be a direct DI, maybe it is a question based on ratio proportion, or it could be some equation or certain thing like time speed distance, and they might have a couple of questions. So this is one such example wherein we have a couple of questions, not couple of, I put three questions from this caselet. Okay, short caselet based on ratios. So you need to find the age of these people, how long they lived. So you need to find the ages of these people. So it is like he was, like his education is given to us. We do not know how long he lived. So first of all, the main character in this is Jalaj, because for him his education is given, right, and worked as a farmer for 1/12 of his life. Then he 1/7 more of his life. After 1/7 more of his life, he married, and 5 years later, they had a son, and his son lived half of his age. So interesting case led to solve. Let's see how many of you are able to solve it. How long you take to solve this, basically. 42. Okay. 42 is age of this person Kishan, not the like Acharya is asking about Kishan, right? Okay, got 42. So let's see. Did anyone else also solve it? So you'll probably have to make equation in this. So it is basically a equation. So suppose Jalaj lived up to certain years. So suppose say let's say that Jalaj lived up to X years. Okay. 1/6 of his life he had education. So education में कितना लग गया? X by 6. Then he worked as a farmer. So this was education. Then like he worked as farmer for 1/12 of his life. So x by 12, right? Then after 1/7 more of his life, he married. Okay, so for 1/7 he was just doing like what he was doing, that is not mentioned. 5 years later, he and Vartika had a son. So 5 years later, they had a son, right? This is the marriage age. 5 years later, he had a son. Then Kishan lived exactly half as long as Jalaj, and Jalaj died 4 years after Kishan. So Kishan's age is this is Kishan, right? Kishan was born after these many years of Jalaj's life. He lived for half of Jalaj's life and he died. After that 4 years, Jalaj died. So it was about framing this equation, right? So if he Jalaj lived for X years, right? X by 6 is gone in education, X by 12 in farming, right? X by 7 in then before marriage, right? This is the marriage point, and this is the marriage age. This is when Kishan was born, right? Uh, you can write Kishan's birth. This is Kishan's death, and 4 years later, Jalaj also died. Okay, so this is what we will get as the equation. Let us now solve it. Okay, so 6, 12, 7. LCM let us take as 84. Okay, 12 into 7, 84. So let's write 84x. Okay, so we'll multiply the entire thing by 84. Okay, and whatever the value we will get, we will find accordingly. So this will be 14x, okay, plus 7x, plus this will be 12x, plus this is 5 into 84, 420, plus this is 42x, plus this is 336, that will be equal to 84x. Okay, so 21, 33, 75, and this is, so 9x will be equal to 756, or we get x equal to 84. So Jalaj lived for 84 years. Okay, so Jalaj is 84 years. The first question I was asking, that at what age did Kishan die, right? So Kishan died half, Kishan lived exactly half as long as Jalaj. So Kishan died at the age of 42 years. Okay, this you've got. 42 is the right answer. So Nidhi, you got the answer right. So I hope this is clear. Now this part is given. Vartika was 24 years at the time of her marriage. So you can find the difference between their ages also. And she died 5 years after Jalaj. Like if you want to calculate, we can do here also. Rest we will see in the next question. So his education was till 14 years, right? And farmer he was for 7 years, 21. And then 12 years later, he got married. Okay, so that means he was marriage time. Jalaj was 33 and Vartika was 24, right? So Vartika is the wife of Jalaj. Okay, 24. Now Vartika died 5 years after Jalaj. Okay, so when Jalaj is 84, when Jalaj died at 84, Vartika must have been 9 years lesser, that is 75. So Vartika died at the age of 80. So Vartika lived for 80 years. Then Geetika was half as old as Vartika when Vartika died, right? So when Vartika died at 80. So Geetika was 40 when Vartika died. Okay. So like if Geetika was 40, that means when Geetika born, that time Vartika was 40 and Jalaj must have been 49. Okay. Similarly, last condition is given that Pritika was born when Kishan had lived 1/7 of his life. ठीक है, जब किशन born हुआ था, that time, right, Jalaj was after 5 years of marriage, right? So Jalaj was 38 and Vartika was 29. Okay, and it is given that Pritika was born when Kishan had lived 1/7 of his life. Okay, so Kishan lived a total of 42 years. 42 ka 1/7 is 6 years, right? So after 6 years later, Kishan was that Pritika was born. Okay, so this is what we will get. Now the first question was asking the age of Kishan, so that we fit. Let us look at the next questions. If Jalaj died in the year 2005, in which year was Geetika born? Okay, so Jalaj died in 2005. So Jalaj lived for 84 years, born in 1921. We need to find when was Geetika born. मैं पिछले साइड में कराया था. Not calculate manually. Geetika born. Now, in the previous slide itself, we calculate everything. So, when Geetika was born, Jalaj was 49 years old. So, Jalaj died in 2005. So, he was born in 1921 and 49 years old was in 1970. So, Geetika was born in 1970. How old was Kishan when Jalaj was thrice as old as Pritika? So, this is an interesting question. You have to tell the age of Kishan when Jalaj was thrice as old as Pritika. Okay, so let us say the previous question data, let us consider that also itself to find their like birth and death year. So Jalaj, Vartika. So we will take that reference. You can take any year. You could take 2000 also, 1900 also. Does not matter. Since we used the previous data, so we can use it this way. Born and died. Okay, so Vartika, then we have Kishan and Pritika and Geetika, right? So Jalavaj was born in 1921. Uh, Vartika is 9 years older, so sorry, 9 years younger, so 1930. Then we are given that Jalaj was thrice as old as Pritika. So Kishan and Pritika we will have to find. So when Kishan was born, right? Kishan was born, then Jalaj was 38, so 1959, and 6 years later, 38. So Kishan was born in 1959, and 6 years later, Pritika was born 1965. Okay, so we need to tell how old was Kishan when Jalaj was thrice as old as Pritika. So can you use this? So we have used this as a reference to find their year of birth, right? You could have taken any year. It is not necessary that you have to take 1920, 1921. You could have taken 1900. You could have taken 2000, right? You can make them in future as well. 3000, any year you can take. That does not, will not impact the answer. Okay, you need to tell that how old was Kishan when Jalaj was thrice as old as Pritika. Now, Jalaj is how much older than Pritika? So, Jalaj minus Pritika is 44, right? So, if Jalaj is like, so we need to take Jalaj is 3 times of Pritika. So, Jalaj minus Pritika is 44. So, that means it gives us P is equal to 22. Okay, P is equal to 22. This would be 22 and 66. Now, Jalaj is thrice as old as Pritika when Pritika is 22 years old and Kishan is 6 years older than Pritika because Kishan is born 6 years previously, right? So, if Pritika is 22, then Kishan will be 28 years old. Okay, got the answer 28. Okay, so this was an interesting caselet, not the typical one like some offbeat thing which you might be uh, seeing for the first time, right? Okay, so the answer to this is 28. Okay, let's say the next one. Okay, so Avenger fan club. How many of you are Avenger fans here? So this is a set on Venn diagram, right? So it says that there are 3,000 kids who are Avenger fan clubs, and the survey was conducted for their liking of Captain America, Thor, or Iron Man. Okay, and like we are given some information that how many of them liked which superhero. Okay, so you'll have to make a Venn diagram, and in this also you need to think that we will have to make two Venn diagrams because the condition says that number of boys, number of girls, so they will be liking different superheroes. So within boys and within girls you'll have to make a Venn diagram. There are three superheroes. One is Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man. We will find out and solve it. So you must have figured this out without me telling that there will be two Venn diagrams, one for boys and one for girls. So let's see the solution to it. So there are total 3,000 kids, and the ratio of boys to girls in the club is 3 5 ratio 3. Okay, so if you divide into 8 parts, 125 into 125 is per thousand, 3,000 will be 375. 375 into 5 will be the number of boys. So that will be 1875 boys and 1125 girls. Okay, so that is the number of boys and girls, right? 5 ratio 3, that might have divided. So on the day of the survey, 75 boys and 1800 girls were absent. Okay, so the survey does not include all people. So boys we have 1800 and girls we have 1050. So these are the people who were present on the day of the survey. Okay, because only these people are being surveyed, so the result obtained from the remaining kids. So these are the remaining kids. Okay, so do not take 1875 and 1125. Okay, now if you look at these numbers, right, instead of calculating the numbers, because number calculation will take time. So for example, if you have to find 3%, if you have to find 9%, 7%, 8%, 6%, 6%, do not do that. Like just calculate the percentages, use the percentages as of now, right? Later on, if in a particular question if they ask the value, then you can calculate that. But for the time being, just fill in the Venn diagram. Okay, so no need to do that. So each kid liked at least one superhero. That means outside the Venn diagram there is no value. All is inside it. 50% of the boys liked Captain America, while 50% of the girls liked Thor. So Thor is 50 and Captain America is 50. Okay, so I'm taking these numbers. These are in percentages. 3% of the boys liked all three superheroes, while this percentage was 4% among girls. Okay. Now, see this thing. One thing that we need to consider here is like whenever you fill a Venn diagram, try to fill the overlap region first. So always remember, so if information is given to us, right? So if all three is given, fill that first, then the overlapping and so on. Then we are given that three, we have filled the number of boys liking only Thor was 50% more than the number of boys liking only Iron Man. We'll come to it later. Okay. The number of girls liking only Captain America was the same as the number of girls liking only Iron Man. Okay. So we can put the variables. Yeah. So values are already given to us. So we can probably fill let's fill the last statement first because that gives us numbers. Boys liking only Captain America and Thor was 7%. Only Captain America and Thor 7%. Only Thor and Iron Man 5%. Only Thor and Iron Man 5%. And only Iron Man and Captain America 9%. Okay, 7, 5, 9. And respective percentages in girls is 8, 6, 6. So 8, 6, and 6. Right, so these percentages we've got. Okay, so we've got these percentages. This total is 50. So we can find how many like percentage like Thor. So this is 18. This will be 32. Right. And here we have 10 plus 9, 19. Right. So we know we were given these three values and this we can calculate by subtracting from total. Similarly, this Captain America only can be calculated by subtracting this total. So 10, 19, this will be 31. Okay, this is done. So calculating percentages is a simpler task than calculating individual values. Okay, now these two information remain. So it says number of girls liking only Captain America, same as only Iron Man. So these two are same, right? Now this is 50. This total is 50. So like no need to add things again and again. So this complete circle is 50. This is 6. So 56, 44 split into two parts. So 44 into two parts is 22 each. This is 22 and this is also 22. Okay, percentage wise. Now next is this point. The number of boys liking only Thor 50% more than only Iron Man. Now this part is 50 and this is 5. 55. Okay, right. So remaining is 45. Okay, these two remaining are 45. 55 is done, 45 is remaining, right? So 45 is remaining, these two parts is 45. It says that only Thor 50% more than only Iron Man, right? So if you take only Iron Man as X or rather 2x, only Thor will be 3x. So 5x is 45, X is 9, so only Iron Man will be 18 and only Thor will be 27. So did you get this value? Voice cutting out. What do you mean by voice cutting out? Like, is there an issue with the stream? So got these values? So just check your network connection because I think from this end it is fine. Right, others. So just check your. All right. So let's now So I hope it is clear now. Like just uh, reconnected it. Okay, so now it's fine, right? Okay, so let us. I hope you got these values, the Venn diagram. So what we did was we calculated in percentage terms. Now, can we answer these questions? Okay, so let's look at the answers. The first question is saying that ratio of boys liking Iron Man to those liking Thor. So Iron Man, if you calculate the total, so this is 27, 30, 35. So Iron Man is 27, 30, 35, and Thor is 34 plus 8, 42. 35 ratio 42, which is 5 ratio 6. So when we say Iron Man to Thor, so that means complete part of Iron Man and complete of Thor. So it will be 5 ratio 6. Okay, it is not saying only Iron Man to only Thor. So you have to take the complete circle. Okay, what is the number of girls liking Iron Man? So use this to find out the number of girls liking Iron Man. So girls liking Iron Man is 22 plus 10, 32, 38%. Okay, so 38% of 1050. For 1000, 38% is 380, and for 50, the 38% will be 19. So that will be 399. What percent of the users surveyed, okay, like all three superheroes? So we need to find what percent of people surveyed like all three superheroes. So 3% of boys and 4% of girls. Okay, so 3% boys and 4% girls. So boys are 1800. Uh, it was boys was 1800 and girls was 1050. So find these numbers. 3% of 1800 is 54, and 4% of 1050 is 42, divided by how many users are surveyed. See, you do not have to take 3000, right? So you will take 2850. Okay, so this will give us 96 by 2850 and into 100, that will be 2 by 57, and 32 by 19, so 64 by 19. 19 into 3 is 57, and 4 57, sorry, 7 will remain. 19, 3 is 57, 170, 19 into, so 3.37% will be the answer. 3.37 based on the given values. Okay, so don't calculate with respect to 3000. You might have got 3.2 if you calculate with respect to 3000. It is saying that users surveyed. So there are 3000 users, but 150 did not participate in the survey. Okay, so this was the calculation. Now we saw here is like one thing to consider here, like we did in terms of percentages, right? We calculate everything in percentages. If you had calculated the individual values, it would have taken more time, and it was not at all beneficial also, because only a couple of numbers had to be calculated, not all had to be calculated. And similarly here it was just about the ratio, so it just needed the percentage values. So you must look at the questions also and then decide that in what format you need to calculate the data. Okay, so I hope you are enjoying this session. So please don't forget to like this video. And in case you are preparing for GDPI, you are done with the examinations or would be done in the future, right? And wish to enroll in our GDPI program. So there is a Google form link given in the description of this video. So please do fill that, and our team will reach out to you. So under this program, you will have like daily what tasks, and we will cover the frequently asked questions. There will be classes on basics of management and guesstimates and case studies. So all these things will be covered in that. And there will be like there are two like plans that we are offering. So if you wish to go with the 3 PI, 3 mock PI, that costs 5,000, and 8 mock PI will cost 10,000. And like these are all complementary things like form filling, SOP review, everything will be provided to you. So in case you wish to enroll in it, you can fill that Google form and the team will reach out to you. Okay, so let's do the next one. This is like a stack graph and sort of calculation based plus logic based set. It's a not simply calculation, but a bit of logic also involved. So we are covering different kinds like calculation based, missing table based, graph based, some involving logic as well. So this involves logic also. So it says that there is a company Aptitude Jab. It has three subsidiaries: Vital Verbal, Lucid Logic, and Quick Quant. Okay, so VV, LL, and QQ. Their CEO sets the target for each of the three companies every quarter, and the graph below shows the quarterly sales of the companies during a year. The combined sales targets of the three companies in Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4 were these. Okay, so these are the quarterly targets, combined target. And what we are given that all targets are in multiples of 5 lakhs. So these are the total quarterly targets, and you need to find the individual targets of these three companies. Okay, so individual targets you need to find, and all targets are in multiples of 5 lakhs. In each quarter, exactly one of the companies achieved 100% target, while the other two companies achieved more than 80% but less than 100% target. So target achieved is between 80 to 100 for two companies. One company will achieve 100% target. So one will achieve 100%, rest two will have between 80 to 100. Okay, and we are given that LL and QQ had the same target in Q1. Okay, so LL and QQ will have same target. And LL achieved 100% target on two occasions. The other two companies achieved 100% target on one occasion each. So three companies are there, right? And 4 quarters. So LL achieved 100% target on 2 quarters, and one quarter, one of the quarters, it will be QQ, one quarter will be VV. And target for LL in Q3 and Q4 was same. So this is the sale, right? It is the target, that is sale that is achieved, right? Target will be equal to or more than that, right? And it is given the target for LL in Q3 and Q4 was same. So LL is the bit central one. So same target. So these arrows show same target. So we need to find the target. Basically, for each quarter, you will have to find the target of each of the companies. Okay, so sale and target. Sale is given in the graph. You need to find the target that these companies achieved, like the target that was given. So using the conditions that it is a multiple of 5 lakhs, and a company can achieve between 80 to 100 lakh 100% target, you need to find the targets also. So find these targets. So we'll have to make a table like Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. Okay, so in that we will put, see, sale is already given to us. So sale we can put like this 75. So let's, okay, and we have 55, 75, 55, and 65. And then we have 60, 60, 60, and 65. Same target of Q3 and Q4. So let us say the target is A. And we are given that these two in the first month they had same target. And total target is also given to us, right? Combined sales targets is given to us 210, 200, 205, and 210. So this is also given to us. Combined sales target is given to us. We are given individual targets also. So we need to find using this what will be the target. Basically, finding the target and based on the condition that it has to be between 80 and 100%. So try to find this. And targets are multiples of 5 lakhs. And what is given to us? That one company will achieve 100% target. In every quarter, company will achieve 100% target. Okay. So you need to tell that how much target is achieved. Like find the targets of these companies. So one company will achieve 100% targets, other two companies will have between 80 to 100. And it is given that LL achieved 100% two times. So you need to find the individual targets of the companies. So keep this thing in mind. One company has to achieve 100% target, right? And we are given, like if you look at quarter one, we are given the targets of, like given that these two companies had same target, right? So can LL achieve 100% target here? Can it have 100% target? First quarter से start करना है. Can it achieve 100% target here? Because if it achieves 100% target, Q will have more than 100%, isn't it? So not possible. LL cannot achieve 100% target here. Okay, so we are talking about Q1. So LL cannot be 100% because if you put 100% here, that is 55, Q will overachieve the target. No company is overachieving. Okay. So either Q will achieve 100% target or VV will achieve 100% target, right? Okay. Suppose we take VV achieving 100% target. Okay. Suppose we are assuming that LL cannot achieve 100% target. Suppose we make VV as 100% target. So VV will achieve 75 on 75. Now total is 205. Remaining is 135. We divide by 2. It is 67.5. What is given? Multiples of 5 lakhs. Okay. So VV also cannot achieve 100% target. So it means in the first quarter, QQ will achieve 100% target. Okay, so QQ will achieve 100% target. That means this target is 60 lakhs. And this is also 60, 60, 60, 120. This will be 90. Does it satisfy this criteria? Yes, it is between 80 and 100. Right? So first quarter is done. Right? 60, 60 and 90. Now we are given that target for LL in Q3 and Q4 was same. Now can LL achieve 100% target in this time, like in third quarter? Think, if it achieves 100% target, let us say यहाँ पे 100% होता है तो यहाँ पे इसका target 55 होना चाहिए. It will overachieve the target, right? So LL cannot achieve 100% target in this also, because if it achieves 100% here, it will overachieve the target. So it will not achieve 100% target here. It is given that LL achieved 2 times. Okay, LL achieved 100% target 2 times. So LL achieved 100% target this and this quarter. So QQ achieved 100% target here. LL achieved these 2 times. So Q3 we will achieve 100% target. Okay, is this clear? Now at least first question has been answered, that we will achieve 100% target in the third quarter. So now we will find the other targets also. So if it achieves 100% target, that means 75 will be the target. Here the common target will be 65. So it achieves 100% over here. And these two we need to find the values. Okay. Now how do we find the remaining two values? So remaining these values add up to 125. So we are dealing in Q2. So total value is 125. ठीक है, एक 55 से greater होनी चाहिए. Second value should be greater than 60. Isn't it? Because if these values are like it should be less than, the sale should be less than the target, right? So only possible values that fit is 60 and 65. Okay, so between 80 and 100 satisfied. This is achieving 100% target. Okay, next comes Q3. In Q3, the total remaining is 65, 140. 140 is the remaining, and one of these values should be greater than 70. Another value would be greater than 60. Okay, so we can have 75 and 65. See, these are multiples of 5 lakhs. That also we need to keep in mind, right? So 75 and 65. So this will be 75. This will be 65. Q3 is also done. Now coming to Q4, the remaining is 65 is done. We need to put 145 more, right? One is greater than 55. Another is greater than 65. Okay, now the values are quite high, right? So it is 145. So we need to see कि कहाँ तक जा सकता है, like at till what value we can have this. Now it is given that target should be more than 80%. So if you take it 70, right? Is it possible to take 70? Is it possible to take 70? No, we cannot take 70. Because if you take 70, this will be like less than 80%. Can we take 65? 65 and this will be 80. Possible? 80% से above जा रहा है. Okay, greater than 80% बन रहा है. Okay, so that is satisfied. If you take this as 60, it has to be greater than 55. This will be 85, right? What is 80% of 85? That is 68, but achieved is only 65. So we cannot take this also. So only value we can take here is 65 and 80. Okay, so this is a CAT type, CAT level DILR, wherein like logic is involved and calculation needs to be done. And at times XAT has been asking those kinds as well, like not last year, but if you see paper from like 2022 had logical ones, 2021 also had logical based. Okay, so last we have seen one or two sets have been logical DI as well. So this was a purely logical DI. Okay, so this is what we get as the targets. Okay, I hope it is clear. कैसे निकाले target? We started with LL because we were given the same target. So we knew that they will achieve 100% target here, and they can achieve QQ will achieve 100% target. Now in these two, LL can achieve 100% target here only. It cannot achieve 100% here. So LL will achieve 100% target here. So this gives us that we will achieve 100% target in the third quarter. Sorry, ये 70 होगा, my bad. Made a mistake here. This is 70. Like none of you told कि ये गलत हो रहा है. 70 होगा because it is 100% target. So this will not be 65. This will be instead 70. ये calculate करने की जरूरत ही नहीं थी because this 65 was already given. This is 100%, so 70, and this will be 70 here. Okay, so just check कि 100% जहाँ पे टिक किया है, 60 on 60, 75 on 75, 70 on 70, and 65 on 65. Okay, so this we will get as the answer. Okay, let's look at the next question. What was the target for QQ in Q4? So in Q4, QQ had a target of 80 lakhs. By how much did the target reduce for VV from Q1 to Q2? So Q1 the target was 90 lakh, and in the second quarter it was just 60 lakhs. So it reduced by 30 lakhs. Okay, so this is the solution to the set. Okay, so next is a calculation based DI, again a calculation heavy. So we are given a table, and this table gives the estimated cost for the construction of a canal between 2 points. Okay, so it happened in 4 years, right? That is 2020, 21, 22, and 23. And there were different uh, heads under which the expenses given to us, right? So we are given that graphing, bolster, brace. You need not know what does all this mean, right? But the expense under different categories is given to us, and like every year the expense is given. So it says if the length of the canal to be laid each year is proportional to the estimated cost for materials and labors. So materials and labor. Okay, so that will mean that material and labor would mean, I think, all these materials. What percentage of the total length is intended to be completed by the third year? So this is a calculation based one. So it says that length of canal is proportional to the estimated cost for materials and labor. Now, what is see, these are all materials. Okay, it should have been specified because graphing is an activity wherein you basically like uh, like it is like making the map sort of thing. Okay, then these are the materials and this is labor, so this portion we need to find. So it is mentioned that the length laid each year is proportional to the cost of these. So we need to find how much is constructed in the 3 years. So this is like a heavy calculation based. So basically what we need to do is we need to add all these, sorry, till labor. These four are materials. This graphing is a separate thing, right? Labor is, we need to find labor and material. So this 4 years, we are given that it is in proportion of the budget spent on these items. So we need to tell that what percentage of length is completed by third year. Okay, so need to do the calculation. So you can use if you get calculator, use calculator for such calculations where heavy calculation is involved. So it's a heavy calculation. We need to find these values and their totals and then divide with the grand total, right? So how much is this? Like we can do some estimate. Like let's round it off to 30, and let's find the first three columns first, and then the total also. Okay. So let's just ignore the hundreds. We'll add the hundreds separately. So we have 25 and 75 will make 100. Okay. Then 25 and 100 can make another 100. So 200, right? That we need to keep in mind. 24 plus 8 is 32 and 32 plus 2, that is 34, and 50 is separate. This is zero point 0.3, 32 is left. Okay, so this makes, we will just add to 200, rough calculation we are doing, 200s, and then we have 18, 19, 19 plus 5, 24, so 2600s. Okay, and then sorry, this is almost 100 and some 50s left. So 20, 22, 22 plus 5, 27, 28, right? And if we just add this, this is in this we are left with 50 and 80, so probably we can add one more 100, so it's roughly 6100. Okay, 6100, that is a rough estimate, and total is if you add 28 more by 8900. Okay, so that you will get 61 by 89. Okay, so 61 by 89 in percentage terms. 70 के close आना चाहिए. 89 into 7 is 90 into 7 is 630. 89 into 7 is 623. Right, so slightly less than that. So it should be around 68. Slightly less than that, 61 by 89. You can use the calculator for this. Okay, that was using the rough estimation. Like if you calculate 89 to 6100, it will not be 7 times. So 6 times. This is 534. 534, 760. Then this will be 8 times. That is 712. This will be 48, 480.5. Right, so 68.5, so roughly it will be 68%. So rough estimation that we did would be 68. So in such kind of cases you can use the calculator and get the answer. Okay, so calculation heavy stuff. This is real calculation heavy stuff because it is not all round off values, unlike the one which we had, just my company income statement was given, that was doable one without calculator, but here you would need that to get precise answer. So it should be around 68. Did anyone use calculator to calculate it? The exact answer? Did anyone calculate it? Is it coming close to 68? Exact, I don't know. I did the rough estimation, so getting 68. Okay, so let's see the next one. It says after preparing the estimate, the provision for the contingencies is deemed inadequate and is therefore doubled. So contingencies, that means exigencies, it needs to be doubled. By how much percentage does the total estimate increase? So basically we'll have to find the total estimate and we need to find how much percent does it make. Okay, so by how much percent will it increase? So again a calculation heavy thing, right? So this is 240, 240 plus 138. 378 is for contingencies. So we will need to find 378 of this total. Okay, so let's see that what the total is. Okay, so you can add horizontally or vertically, whichever way you want, because the number of additions you'll have to do is the same. Okay, so let's add. I mean, we will just add 4 values. That would make more sense than adding these many values. So this is 655 and 128. That is 783. Okay, ये 783 आएगा. This is 1538. So let's do that 100 thing and then we will add the exact value. 25 into 7500, 200, 200, 300, 313. So 13 and 3 we will take carries. 4, 18, 28, 30, 33, 36, 36 plus 4, 40. Okay, so this is the total expenditure in the second year. Third year also we will do the same thing. Hundreds we will knock off together. This is 80, 70, 150. Sorry, we will ignore this 75 and 25, that will make 100. Okay, then we have 250, 250 plus 96, that is 346. 3 carries, 3, 15, 21, 22, 24, 24, 27, 29. Okay, so you can use calculator to do the exact calculations. Okay, this is 100, that is taken care of. 100, then we have this is 40, 40, 80. Okay, 180, 250, 260, and this is 260 plus this is 83. 260 plus 83 is 343. Okay, 343. Just add 3 to it. This is 14, 23, 25, 28, 30, 32. 3243. Yeah, I mean, you can just use calculator. So this is 61. 61 plus 40 is 101, 108, 108. And this is 83, 96. 96 plus 89. 96 plus 89 is 185. Are we getting this? 10985. So definitely not a worth attempting question in the exam. Okay. And 378 increase हो रहा है. So did anyone calculate? Like you can use calculator, at least you have the leverage of using calculator. Now I'll use calculator to find it. 3.44 I'm getting the answer. 378 by this I'm getting 3.44 as the answer. Just check it as, or let me use calculator to calculate because possible to make mistakes in such heavy calculations. Okay, because the options are also closed. So this year in XAT they'll be providing calculators, but if in any examination if there is no calculator you are supposed to skip this question straight away, like straight skip, because no person will be able to solve those do such calculations under tremendous pressure. Okay, so एक बार देख लेते हैं, like I'll just add all the values. In the meanwhile you calculate that whether you got the right answer. 783 is correct for first row. Then we have 113. So 4013 second column is also correct. 2946 is also correct. 31, यहाँ पे 3143 आएगा. Okay, 3143 will be the total. So I think it should be 10885. 1088, 10885 will be the total. So 378, 3.472 आएगा. That will be the right answer. 3.47 will be the answer. Okay, so total is 10,885. Okay, so I mean definitely not worth attempting in the examination even if you have calculator with you. Okay, unless it is something like you have 5 minutes left and you do not know anything else कि verbal में you are not sure कि आपका answer सही होगा, quant के कोई और question solve नहीं हो रहे, like this is the only thing that you can do given the time. ठीक है, like such questions should be done if you have some time left. You do not know how to solve other things. This you know how to solve, but it will take time to solve. Okay, so this is 3.47. To ensure that the total expenditure remains within 10,500 lakh, an equal reduction in management expenditure is proposed for all years. What will be the percentage reduction for year 2021? So we calculated 10,885 and we have to keep the budget within 10,500. Okay, so that means 385 has to be the reduction. So in the previous question we calculated it, right? So that total was needed once. So 385 has to be the reduction and it says that equal reduction in for all years. So equal reduction for all years. So you need to tell that what will be the percentage reduction for 2021. अब ये तो कर लो calculate. Like not a very big calculation left over here. So we know the total that needs to be calculated and the reduction also that needs to be done. So we are given that equal reduction every year. So 385 by 4, that is 96.25. 96.25 every year we have to reduce, right? So it is saying that percentage reduction for year 2021. So 2021 you will be reducing 96.25 out of 225. Okay, so we need to find it like in percentage terms. Okay, so that is 4 by 9, and that will be 385 by 9. Right, 4 is 36. So 225, that is 242.78 will be the answer. 42 will give us 378. So 7 by 9. So 777. That will be the answer. Okay, so again, a calculation heavy question. And I mean, this was like if you calculated this total in the previous question, this could have been done. So two of them required a bit of calculation. Okay. So in case you are looking for XAT mocks, and you can try our mocks, and today we are offering 25% off our XAT mocks. So you can use the code XMAS to avail this offer. Okay, so here's the next one. It is saying that there is a jewelers. So Shagun Jewelers deals in jewelry of only three materials: gold, silver, and diamond. The bar graph shows the percentage contribution to monthly revenue generated by the jewelries of gold and silver for 6 months. Right? The pie chart gives the distribution of revenue generated by the sale of diamond jewelries over the same period. Okay. So see, basically three kind of jewelries: gold, silver, and diamond. Right. So gold and silver, the revenue distribution is given. Right. Like whatever the revenue is there, how much is to gold and silver. So remaining will be the diamond revenue, and revenue by diamond jewelry across the 6 months of the total revenue. How much is generated by diamond jewelry, that is given to us. Okay. So now in this case, we need to find like we need to find that what was the percentage increase in the total revenue from January to March. So the question is whether can we find that or not? Can we determine or not? So it's a ratio based question. Students think that some students think that the total revenue is not given, but it's a ratio based question. So whenever you are given some graphs, right, especially pie chart and all, a pie chart or stack graph, right? Like if you have just percentage or ratios, you can answer questions related to percentage or ratios. Like this is asking percentage increase, so we can tell percentage increase, but we cannot tell that what is the difference between the revenue generated in 2 months, or we cannot use any absolute term. I cannot tell that the revenue in any particular month or any such thing unless some more information is given. But if something is given with respect to the percentage or ratio can be calculated. How will we calculate? Let's see this. So in January to March, we need to find the increase in total revenue. Okay. So January we have 27% is gold, silver is 40, so diamond will be 33. Total is 100% because it is dealing in only three materials. So there is no other material apart from it. Okay, so 33, and in March this is 25, right? Now it is saying that in March the diamond production is 14.4%. In January, the diamond revenue is 15.84%. Okay, so like if you see, we will just use that comparison thing. So if you observe this, like can you figure out 10% more? I mean, not 10% is not the answer here. Just notice this. This is 10% more, isn't it? Like diamond revenue is 10% more. Can you figure this out? This is 14.4. This is 10%. So if you say that in March the revenue was through diamond was 10x, in January the revenue was 11x. If you put this as 14.4, if you divide, this will be 1.1 times. So if the January in March it is 10x, okay. So 11x is 33%. So total is 300x, and 10x is 25%, right? So it will be the answer 33.33% are getting the answer as 33.33%. 10x 25% is 10x, सॉरी 40x आएगा और ये आएगा 11x is 33%. So we need to find 100%, right? 33x, we need to find 100%. So 33% is 11x, 1%. So basically it will be 33.33x. The answer will be 20%. Okay, let's just revisit it, or let's forget, like if you are unable to figure out 10% more, like in a simpler way, let us solve it in a simpler way. Suppose it is 10,000, right? I mean, just take this. This is 1584 and this is 1440. 1584 and 1440. Now 1540 is 33%. Okay. So find what is 100%, and this is 25%, and find what is 100%, right? So this is 20% of revenue. 33% of revenue is 1584. 25% of revenue is 1440 for simpler calculations. Okay. So in January, the revenue will be 33% is 1584. So divide by 33, 1584. 33 into 4 is 132. 26 to 64, 8. Right. So January revenue is 4800. Right. And March revenue is 4 times, that is 5760. The increase is of 960 with respect to 4800, so it is 20%. Okay, I think this was a simpler explanation, that in January we had 33% of diamond and in March we had 25% of diamond. So we assume that the total revenue was 10,000, right? So 1584 revenue through diamond in January and 1440 in March. Now this is 33% of the total revenue of January. So that means total revenue in January is 4800 and this is 25%. So March the revenue is 5760. So we figured out 20% increase in the revenue. What is the ratio of revenue generated by silver jewelry in January and February? Okay, so use the same thing which we did in previous question and find silver jewelry in January and February. So find the ratio of silver jewelry in Jan and Feb. So use the same relation that we did in previous one. So if we look at, like, let's do the again the same thing. So 51584 and this is 1960. Okay. So this is how much? 25%, sorry, 33%. And this is how much? 33, 32. This is 35%. Okay, this is 35%, right? We need to find silver jewelry. Okay, silver jewelry is 40% here and 32% here. So 33% is known. We find 40% will be how much, and find 32% will be how much, and find the ratio. So in first year, so in January, it will be 1584 divided by 33 into 40. So this is silver jewelry, and in January, and this is in February. So 1960 by 35 into 32. So this will be silver jewelry. Okay. And if you divide by 33, that will be 4 times is 132, 48 into 40. And this is 35 into 5 is 175, and 21, 210 upon 32. Okay, so just take this ratio. This is divided by 8, 6, and 7. And this is 5 by 4. And further, we can divide by 2. That is 3 and 2. So you'll get 15 ratio 14. Okay, 15 ratio 14. That will be the answer to this. Okay, so let's see the next one. If the difference between the total revenues generated in March and April was 10 lakhs, what was the revenue generated by gold jewelry in March? So, difference between total revenue generated in March and April is 10 lakh. Okay, and we need to find the difference. We need to find the revenue generated by gold jewelry in March. Now again, that heavy calculation involved here. So March diamond is 25%, right? And here it is 30%. Okay, so let's take this 1440 and 1608, right? So this is, let us say this is the revenue generated by uh, the diamond jewelry, right, in March and April. Now, if you have to calculate March, the total revenue, right? So the total revenue will be, this is 25%, so 4 times 5760x, and this is 30%. So 100% will be 1608 by 3 is 536, 5360. This is the total revenue in April, right? What are we given? We are given the difference between total revenue is 10 lakhs. So difference here is 400x, that is equal to 10 lakh. So we can find like x will be equal to 2500. Okay. X is 2500 because 400x 10 lakhs, x 100x will be 2.5 lakh, so 2.5 thousand. So x is 2500. Now we will, again, some calculation is needed here. We need to find gold jewelry in March. So in March, the total revenue is 5760, okay, and into 2500, right? And gold is how much of it? 39% of it. So iska 39%. Okay. So how to simplify this calculation is these three will make it 1,000, right? So ignore the three digits. We just need to see what will happen to, I mean, there will be 100 also divided by 100. Okay, so forget that zero part. Just focus on 576 into 25 into 39, right? Focus on this part. 5760 is the total revenue. 25%, 2500 is the value of X, and 39% is gold here. Just so whenever we need to multiply by 25, divide by 4. So that will be 144, 100 and into 39. I mean, again, ignore the zeros. So 144 into 39. Last digit will end in 6. So all options are in this format. So 144 into 39. 39 into 4 is 156. 15 carries 171. 17 carries 56. 5616. This will be the answer. So extreme heavy calculations was involved in this set. Okay, so we did a few sets which had calculations, heavy calculations. We did some which had logic based also. Okay, all right. So let's do another set. This you would find easy to now. You might have got bored by solving so many calculation heavy things. But remember, in the examination, you need that stamina to sit for almost 3 hours. Okay, doing like some questions will require heavy calculation, some questions will require heavy reading. Okay, so you need to have developed that thing. So earlier CAT used to be like, I like that CAT 3 hour format where it used to be a 3 hour test because it actually tests your patience, like how long can you sit at one go. Okay, so do this. This one is doable one. Okay, so it's a caselet which talks about that there are two institutes A and B. They have three classes X, Y, and Z, and the number of boys and girls is given to us. So using that, find out that how many boys and girls are present in each of these. So in this case, we have two institutions A and B, and number of students in these is put together as 1350. This is relatively simple to do because like information is given. We need to understand that how data is represented in this. So we have two institutes A and B, right? And within them you have three classes X, Y, Z, and within that you have boys and girls. Now, if you look at the data from the second part, like and even from here itself, it says that boys and girls, right? So you can find the number of boys and girls. Institution A 75%, 70% are boys, rest are girls. So we know the data about boys and girls. Now the challenge is how to draw the table. Okay, it's about drawing the table. So make like this for institute like C for XYZ, you will have to bifurcate into boys and girls and within A and B. Okay. Since we know the total of boys and girls, right? So make a table like this: boys and girls for institute A, and for B, boys and girls, because grand total is known and individually we need to fill in, right? And then put X, Y, and Z. So for A and B, find out the number of boys and girls in these. So this will give us the total number of boys and girls. Boys and girls will give us the total number of students in A and B. Okay, so calculate it. This is just like drawing the table, putting the values. It is all fractions and percentages that can be calculated with ease. So a doable problem from examination point of view. So previous one was way too calculation heavy and should have been the avoiding one. So if we are done, do let us know. We will discuss these questions. This is something that can be done like within 5 minutes, and if you happen to get such kind of problems, you can solve those easily because not much logic is involved. Just simple calculations, some basic uh, like fraction based calculations, percentage based calculations. So we are given the total 1350, 7 ratio 8. So 15 parts is 1350, and one part will be 90. So A will have 630 and B will have 720 students. Right? There are only three classes in each institutions X, Y, Z. 70% in A are boys. So 63 into 7. That is 420 plus 21, 441. And 30%, that is 189, will be girls. Okay. Boys to girls ratio is 11 ratio 7. So 18 parts is 720. One part will be 40. So 440 and 2 into. Okay, so this is done. Right now, we need to find these individual values. Okay, which is given in the subsequent paragraphs. So it says in institution A, 4 by 7 of total girls enrolled in class Y. So 4 by 7 is 189 into 4 by 7. So this is 27 into 4, 108 in Y. 5/9 of the remaining, right? 5/9 of remaining, not of total. So 5/9 of remaining. Remaining is how much? 81. 81 ka 5 by 9 is 45. 45 in Z. So remaining will be 36. That is an X. Okay. Out of total boys in institution, 42 6 by 7%. So 42 by 6 by 7% means 3 by 7. Okay, you must be aware of this number, right? 3 by 7. Okay, so 3 by 7 in class X. So 441 into 3 by 7. So 7 is 6, 3. So it is 189. 189 is X. 44.49% of remaining. Okay, how many remain? 441 minus 189. We have 252 remaining. And 44, 4 by 9% means 4 by 9 times. So into 4 by 9. So that is 28 into 4, which is 112. So 112 in Y. So 112 in Y. Now total was 252 and 112 is here. So we have 140 in Z. Okay, so this is also filled. Now we have to use for Institute B. 4 by 11 of the total boys in Y. So 1 by 11 is 40, 4 by 11 will be 160 in Y. Boys enrolled in class Z is 10%, 5% more than enrolled in Y. Okay, so 5% more in Y. So Z will be 5% is 8, so 168, right? And then we have remaining in X, 328, 112. So 112 you will get here. Okay. Then finally, if you talk about the girls, one fourth are enrolled in Z. So 70 are enrolled in Z. And the number of girls enrolled in class X is 10% more than in Y. So if this is 100 X, this will be like it is X, it will be 1.1X. Total remaining is 210. So we will get 100. So 100 and 110. 10% more. So this is how the numbers are distributed. Okay, so we will get the values. Okay, so it was a fairly simple one, unlike the previous one, which got heavy calculation and in decimal places. It was just fractions and percentages. Total number of students in class Y in two institutes put together. So class Y, just add this. This is 220 plus 260. You will get 480 students. Okay. Next is which of these numbers is the highest? So we have the highest number as this number of boys in class X of Institute A. What percent of students in class Z are girls? So find the total number of students here and find the number of girls. 189 plus 238. 427. Okay. 427 total students, and how many are girls? Out of them, 115. Okay, now like I'll tell you how to do these calculations fast. So obviously like you will have the use of calculator this time. Okay, and you would be able to calculate faster. But let's say if you are appearing in an examination where there is no calculator given to you, and you still have to calculate the answer. Okay, so how do we calculate in this case? So this is 115 only, right? 45 plus 70, 115, and this is 189 plus 238, 427 only, right? So we need to find 115 by 427. So that we need to find this. So all these values are close to 30%, isn't it? So like if you calculate 30% of this, uh, that will be 1281. So 128.1 is 30%. Now how much we need to subtract? We need to subtract 13 from it, which is roughly 3%. Okay, so roughly 3% we need to subtract. So it should be roughly 27%. Roughly 27%. So the answer would be, I guess, 27.2%. Okay, so it will be the answer. Okay, so this will be the answer to this question. So this was like a doable question because values could have been calculated by just plugging into the table. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this session. So please don't forget to like this video. And like if you are preparing for GDPI, if you are done with the exams, or like in the future, like once you're done with that, and like based on different examinations, if you're preparing for the GDPI part, right, you can enroll with us and just fill this form, and the team will get back to you. Will give you the details about this program. And like if you happen to prepare for CAT and other exams next year, or know someone who would be preparing for these exams next year, you can recommend us. You already know the quality content that we provide, okay, and the kind of uh, the teaching and the quality content that makes our institute much better than many other institutes which are just hyped by students, maybe just by some influencers also. Okay, so please do recommend us to others. So that's for this session, and I hope you found this session interesting. Quite heavy, content heavy session, but yes, that is what you need, right? Maybe these sessions might feel boring to you, right? May not be on the entertaining side, but this is what the reality is. Like, if you just follow entertainers, that is not going to help you, right? And like in the examination you have to sit for almost 3 hours, okay, and you need an active brain for that duration. So it is very important to build that stamina while practicing. Okay, so thank you everyone for watching this session, and don't forget to like this video.